I'm Onyx, and in this video, I'm going to be sewing an Ita bag for the very first time. For those who don't know what an Ita bag is, it's basically a bag with a clear panel at the front that you can put all your pins and badges behind so that they don't fall off or get damaged while you wear them. And usually they'll have a theme, like a fandom from a game or a show that they like, but as you can see, mine doesn't really have a theme because I didn't really have a fandom that I felt super inspired by to create a whole bag based around. Well, until I got Animal Crossing New Horizon last year, and I've been enjoying it a very normal amount, as you can clearly tell by the amount of time I have spent playing it. Also, just to make it clear, this is not a tutorial, this is more of a vlog, if anything. And I'm only gonna sew the bag in this video, and then I'll make like at least 2 videos about the different accessories that I'm gonna make for this bag. But with all that out of the way, let's get into it. So here's the sketch. It's kind of hard to see, but it's going to have a leaf pattern like the one on the Nook Inc. Aloha shirt. So day 1, I started by drafting the pattern on some paper. I used graph paper specifically because all the pieces are rectangular, so the grid should help make sure that the lines are perfectly straight. Unlike me, I cut some circles out to use as a guide for rounding out the corners on the front/back panel, and the same one can be used for a bunch of different pieces. The top part is for the zipper in the lining behind the front panel, which you can see the window for underneath it. The top set of notches is the cutoff point for the top where the zipper is going to go for the opening of the bag, and the lower set of notches is where the cutoff point is for the pockets that are going to sit underneath the zipper. I also made the top, the sides and bottom, the loops for attaching the straps, and the strap itself. Once I had all of my pieces ready, I moved over to the dining table to trace them out on some fabric. But this is actually mock-up fabric, so I'm using it to test the pattern and check if I need to make any tweaks without risking my nice fabric. Little drink break, cause it's hot as hell. And I thought I was done, but I almost forgot the binding, which is the light green part on my sketch. Alright, so it's day 2, I've got my pattern pieces right here and my sewing machine, but before I get into sewing these together, I'm actually going to do an overlock stitch on the edge of this fabric that I'm going to be using for the outside of my bag. As you can tell, it's not the right color because I couldn't find the right kind of fabric that was also the right color, so I got this canvas fabric in white, and I'm going to be using some fabric dye to get it to the right color. Now, most of the people I've seen do this have done it in a pot over the stove, but I'm actually going to do this in the washing machine because you can also do that, so hopefully it turns out good. Well, not quite, but let's focus on the mock-up for now. It went a lot smoother than I expected. I've also gotten much better at wrangling the sewing machine. So, fun fact, sewing machines use 2 threads. One in the top and one in the bottom. And I used to really struggle with replacing the thread in the bottom, but during this process, it's been really easy. And this sewing machine has been going through thread like crazy during this. Otherwise, it was pretty uninteresting. I sewed all the pieces for the front, back, sides, and strap together, and then I combined them into the bag. And here is the complete prototype. Personally, I am very happy with how it turned out. Oops, Jesus Christ. And here is the completed prototype. Personally, I am very happy with how it turned out. I'm particularly happy with how the strap became. It looks very clean and very professional. Unlike the rest of the bag, it looks crazy, but that's just because all the raw edges are on the outside, and because I didn't overlock them, which I will do on the final one, they are just fraying all over the place. But the reason why they're raw like that and why they're on the outside is because I was originally going to do binding, as I mentioned, which is that little minty green line that was shown on my concept art. But when I was trying to do that, I had some issues. Like they weren't the right size, and I felt like, and honestly, I felt too lazy to resize it and fix it and cut out more. So I decided to come up with something else because I'm not super like concerned with the piece being exactly the same as the sketch that I did at the beginning. I'm completely open to some changes if that might come up if needed, and this is one of them. So I did a little test on the side, and this is what I came up with. So this is like a double lined piece, so you know, this inside part, I don't know if you can see that, hold on, let me turn out the light down so maybe you can see it a little better. So this part is going to be the lining on the inside, which you can see it looks pretty nice, pretty clean, and then this part is going to be the outside. So basically how I'm going to do this, let me turn the light back up. Oh no, there you go. Seriously, okay, give me a moment. There we go. The way that I'm going to do this is that on these side parts, all the pieces for the sides, like this and this here where there's going to be a zipper, I'm going to put 2 extra centimeters so that I can hem it over the edge and basically seal in all the raw edges so that it looks nice, both from the inside and the outside. And yeah, also you might notice that I did use, I guess what you would call the hardware for this prototype. So these, I didn't know what these were called, so I'm going to tell y'all because I thought it was interesting. This is called a D-ring because it's flat on one side and round on the other. This is a swivel hook, which I've seen before. They just like turn around but not this big. And then this is the square ring, I think it was called, which you use as the, you know, adjustable part of it. But I did not use the zippers because I thought taking those out and reusing them on a final piece would be too difficult, because I'd have to like seam rip it out since, you know, you have to sew it on. Whereas you have to kind of sew around these pieces, you know, so they're kind of like, they're not attached to anything. So I decided to just fake it by just, you know, not using them. But for these pieces, I'm just going to cut these out and reuse them in the final piece because they're not that difficult. Also, if you're wondering, I don't know if I mentioned this already, but in this piece, the inside has, it's kind of hard to see, but it's gonna have 3 pockets. God, you can't see it. It has 1 big pocket and then 2 smaller ones. And then on the same side, since this is the front, it has a hole for the zipper so that here at the front, that's how I can get into, that's how, you know, if you see reaching from the inside, I can get into this front panel, which there will be like a clear vinyl window in this, but I didn't want to use it for the piece since this is just the prototype. But yeah, I'm very happy with how this is turning out, and so yeah, that's pretty much it for now. But I forgot to mention, this isn't really important, but I thought I'd share because I'm almost proud of myself. I broke one of the needles from the sewing machine, and I managed to switch it out completely by myself without anyone's help or video tutorial, you know, and I was very proud of that. So I think I might keep this. I know this is kind of crazy, but I might keep this broken needle as a trophy because I have to say I was very proud. It did take me a little bit, but I figured it out on my own. Alright, so it's day 3, and as I said, things didn't go exactly the way I was hoping with the fabric. So for reference, this is my switch blight, and this, it looks really blue on camera, but this is like a teal, and this is the color I was hoping for with the fabric. But yeah, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that isn't the same color. The fabric is way too green. Like, it looks like the right color on camera, but in real life it's very green. And I do think I have a theory for what happened. So I used these 2 dye packets, this one called turquoise and this one called Kelly green, but I only used a quarter of this and a whole pack of turquoise. And to get a quarter of the green, I had to, you know, cut up the packet to get the quarter of the dye out because it's like a powder. And because of that, the green dye was open and like mixed into the water sooner than the blue one because the blue one took a little to dissolve. because the packet dissolved. And so because of that, the green got, I guess more into the fabric than the blue. So yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do about it right now, honestly. Like, I need time to figure this out, but I do have something else that I can do in the meantime. So the leaf pattern on the bag is going to be painted on, so for that I need fabric paint. But I've seen some people doing, making DIY fabric paint, so I was hoping I could try that out first so that I can see if maybe I can, save some money, since I do have a lot of paint over here, and I can make my own instead of having to get new paint just for painting on fabric. And before I dyed the rest of the fabric, I actually saved this little square so that I could test out this fabric paint to see how durable it really is. So I'm gonna paint something, I'm gonna make the fabric paint, I'm gonna paint something on this, and then I'm gonna seal it in with an iron, and then I'm gonna put that in the wash too to see how well the paint holds up and if it's gonna, rub off and whatever. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention this, but first, I'm actually going to be making some little stencils that I can use to make repeating the pattern all over the fabric a lot easier. So I went and scanned the travel case for my Switch because it had the pattern in the exact size I wanted. So I cut those two out and got this leftover plastic I kept from laminating and glued the two leaves on with a glue stick. I did have to cut some gaps through the outline, otherwise once I cut that out, the whole center would come out and I wouldn't get any of those details inside. But I'll just touch those up with a brush later. I finished cutting them out, just wiped off the glue stick with a wet paper towel, and then cut the two leaves into separate stencils. Then I mixed up the paint color for the design. I thought mixing it first would be better so the fabric softener ratio doesn't get messed up. So once it was ready, I put some on my palette and mixed it with the fabric softener. I got my really crusty sponge brush to apply it, and after some touch-ups, it looked very good. So I let it dry and then got a towel, iron, and some parchment paper to seal it in, hopefully. Okay, so after I got done with this, I decided that I would go to the mall and get more fabric and more turquoise dye to try and dye this fabric again, and this time do it in the correct color. And just to be clear, I am not going to throw away the fabric that did not turn out correct. I don't have any plans to use it on anything yet, but I will end up using it for something. Maybe a mock-up for another project I'll do, or I'll find a completely new project to use it on altogether. So yeah, nothing is going to waste, and I did, I think, get a couple things that aren't important to this, and I didn't take a lot of footage during my trip to the mall, but I did make sure to take a video of the churros that I got. But yeah, I'm gonna overlock this fabric first, and then I'm going to attempt to dye it the right color again. And same as last time, I'm going to use a full packet of turquoise, but I think I'm going to actually use like a 1/4 teaspoon of the Kelly Green, which I still have. It's right here. I have it in a Ziploc bag. Yeah, the dye does not look anything like what it ends up turning out like. And I think I'm gonna use like a 1/4 teaspoon of this. Like, in my mind, if it ends up not being green enough, I could theoretically wash it again. It might be tedious and there might not be a point, but in theory, I could do it. So yeah, we'll see how that turns out. So it's day 4, and here is the result from me dyeing the fabric. And here is also my switch for comparison. And I mean, it's a pretty good match, so I'm very happy with how it's turned out. And here, if you haven't seen it yet, which I haven't shown it yet, but this is the fabric I'm going to be using for the lining. And originally I was going to use it for the binding too, but clearly we're past that point. And I think these two will look really, really nice together. And honestly, looking back, I actually think I also like the green with this fabric, but I'm still gonna use this here, and maybe some time later on down the line I might end up making another bag out of the other green fabric. And yeah, honestly, I don't have much else planned for today because I still haven't washed this little test patch for the fabric paint, because yesterday I was doing the fabric. So today we're gonna probably wash it. We're gonna do like or my mom's probably gonna do like a white laundry wash, so we'll get to put that in there and see how it turns out after wash. And after that, once we figure out how the pattern is gonna hold up, I'll put the pattern on this. I'm not gonna do it while it's in the wash, because obviously if it turns out bad and it just falls off, then that's a waste of time. So yeah, we'll see how it turns out, and we'll figure out what to do then. Alright, it's been literal hours since I put the piece in the wash because it was taking a long time. But here it is, finally out. Still looks good. It's a little wet, but obviously it was in the wash and I didn't dry it or anything. So yeah, the fabric paint does look really good. I do think it came off a teensy little bit in the places where it wasn't like super thick. But that's normal. That I've seen that happen, where if you have like a very light like fade, that will happen. But obviously that's not my goal. So as long as I make sure to apply the paint nice and smooth and a nice even coat, then it should be okay. It is kind of late though. I think it's like 7 p.m. now. So I think I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to get started on getting the fabric painted and for it to have the pattern. So yeah, see you tomorrow. Okay, it's day 5 and it's finally the day where I get to cut out all the pattern pieces and hopefully start sewing them together. Now I do have to put the pattern onto the darker blue fabric, and I was debating how I should do this, which order I should do it in, but here's how I decided to do this. So I got my fabric and cut out all the pieces, including the lining and this clear vinyl for the window. Then I overlocked all of it, cut open the spot for the zipper in the lining, cut some notches in the front panel, and finally got to painting on the pattern. Alright, it's day 6. I ended up staying up until 4 a.m. to finish putting the pattern onto all of these pieces. And I know it seems like I'm taking a real long time to get all these little individual parts done over the other days too. But listen, I swear every single thing, doing anything for a recording takes twice the amount of time, because you don't have to just do it. You also have to pay attention to whether it looks good on camera and if everything looks nice and aesthetic. So yeah, but finally it's done. I have not ironed these yet, so I'll do that in a moment, and then hopefully we can finally start putting this bag together at last. As I said, I ironed over the painted pattern, then also folded and ironed over the hems. As I said, I ironed over the painted pattern, then also folded and ironed over the hems, and finally started sewing the bag together. I accidentally forgot to press record on some parts, but I basically sewed together the strap, the sides and bottom, the back, and the front. It ended up being too late to finish sewing the pieces together, so I finished sewing it the next morning on day 7. But before the reveal, I quickly made the insert from 2 pieces of cardboard that I glued together and covered with fabric. And here is the final result. There were a few hiccups while sewing, but I am still very happy with how it turned out for my first time. And I took the opportunity of making this Nook ink bandana at the same time, and I am very happy with how it turned out as well. So yeah, I am very excited to finally start decorating this Eat a Bag, and I'm gonna do my best to have the videos out with all the decorations as soon as possible. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. See you then. Bye!